Hello and welcome, my name is Sarah and I'm a mod creator for The Sims 4. In today's video we're going to go over the Road to Wealth mod version 2. First things first, I want to mention that I have a blog post about the Road to Wealth mod on my website xosdr.com, where you can find all the information about the Road to Wealth mod. Anyways, let's dive into it. We're gonna go and look at the folder structure first before we get into gameplay. Now, I do want to mention that this video has chapters, so you can skip parts and go from one point to another point. If there are certain things that you're unsure about, then just check out that part of the video. Let's dive into the folder of the mod itself. So once you download the mod, you have unzipped the mod, and then you open the folder of the Road to Wealth mod, then this is what it will look like. So as you can see, there are quite a few files, and I just want to go over every single file and what every single file does. Do you need every single file? No, you don't. You can just choose whatever you want inside of your game. So what do I mean by you don't need every single file? It is because I have now turned the Road to Wealth mod into a modular mod, so we can just pick and choose whatever files we want to use. So the M stands for module, and then we have module 1, and we have module 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there are 5 different modules. Now, the most important thing is that we leave module 1 alone, because module 1 makes this whole mod work. So if you delete module 1, the mod is not going to work. For module 1, it is the core file, then the script core file, and then the strings. Strings stands for the text and the images. So if you're interested in translating this mod, then this is the package file that you should look into. I allow all my mods to be translated. Just let me know if you've created a translation and uploaded it to whatever platform you use, for example, Patreon, and I will link your translation into the main post on my blog, so then anyone can download your translation. So, like I said, the module 1, core file, and strings, we leave those alone. We do not delete those, because if we do, the mod is not going to work. Then we get module 2, which is finances. And for finances, in this case, we have the loan system is added into the finances, and the investment system is added inside of the finances module. So if you're not interested in the loan system and not interested in the investment system, then you can just delete module 2. Module 3 is the shopping. So in this case, it's SimMart. It used to be purchase items and sell items, but now I have changed this items part into like a shopping center system. It still works the exact same as it used to, but it's now called SimMart. So if you're not interested in selling your inventory items for a lower cost at the SimMart, then you don't need the shopping module. And if you're also not interested in purchasing collectible items, then you also don't need the shopping module. Then we go to module 4, which are the activities. So these are just activities your sim can go and do. Now, these activities are different from the older activities, and I'm planning on adding more, but so much more depth has been added inside of the module 4 activities that I didn't have the time to recreate every single activity that was available in the older versions. But don't worry, I'm still working on this. Now, the activities are activities that you can go and do with your family, or adults can do with their friends or such. Now, if you're not interested in having your sim to spend money to go and do activities, then you can just delete module 4. And for the last one, we have module 5, which is the memberships module. Now, this is where you can purchase memberships, and then these memberships, you can add days to them, and then on these memberships, the days will, like, every day a day will be removed. Now, in the previous versions, this was so bugged, and it took me a while to actually figure out how to make this perfect, and I can promise you now it works perfectly. So the days do actually get removed every single day. There were some issues with this. It was never big issues that will break your save, but I could not for the life of me figure it out. So I redid the whole system, and now it works perfect, and I love using memberships. Now for memberships, you have to think about these can be gym memberships, these are pool memberships, premium memberships, and all of that. Now don't worry, by the way, the entrance fee is just added inside of the core file, so you can use the entrance fee even without the membership module. The membership module just only adds the memberships that you can use inside of the lots with the entrance fee for free. Now I hope that makes sense. We will look at this later, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. So now we have discussed the different modules, so 1 to 5. Again, I'm going to mention it, and I'm probably going to mention it so many times, is that module 1 cannot be deleted. This is the core file of the mod. Without module 1, the mod doesn't work. So now let's look at the OpenMe optional file. Now this is actually really, really important. If you are using the mod for the first time, it is important to indeed open this folder and delete what you don't want. The reason for this is because these are overrides on themselves. So if you leave all these files inside, it might cause some weirdness in your game. It should not break your save, but just in case, let's just go through this. Now in the OpenMe optional folder, which you can fully delete, so these 2 folders optional can be fully deleted, like nothing in there needs to stay. So let's open the OpenMe optional folder. Inside we have the lot prices and starting funds. Now as you can see behind it, it says choose one, so you can only choose one of the lot prices and one of the starting funds. Now let's look at lot prices first. So if I open this, I have also renamed the system. Now the reason I call this module 0 is because you can use these files without any of the other module files. So I hope that kind of makes sense. I tried to name these in a way that would make sense. So even if you don't want to use anything of the Road to Wealth mod, but you are interested in raising the lot prices, then you can just pick one of these and just pop those into your mods folder and you're good to go. Now anything that is called M0 can just be popped inside of your mods folder without using the Road to Wealth mod. Now the reason I have done this is because I did get quite a few questions of people who are interested in certain files, make certain things more expensive, but they're not interested in using the Road to Wealth mod. So anything with M0 is safe to use inside of your mods folder without the Road to Wealth mod. So without the core file or any other files from the Road to Wealth mod. So I hope that makes sense. Now, one thing about these optional folders is that they're all overrides. So some of these files are not compatible with other mods. Now, anything from the Road to Wealth mod itself, so let's go down here again. So anything from module 1 to 5 is safe to use and compatible with every other mod out there. But then anything from the OpenMe optional folder or the overrides optional folder are overrides and they might not be compatible with other mods. So anyways, let's just look at the lot prices. Now, these kind of speak for themselves, I hope, but these just change the lot prices of the lots inside of your game. So 0 stands for every single lot inside of your game will now be 0 simoleons. 3 is for the original price times 3, 5 is for the original price times 5, and then 10 is the original price times 10. Now with these, you can only choose one. I used to always like to use the lot prices 5, and then I figured it's too expensive, so I created the lot prices 3, and this is the one I'm using right now. So this is the original price times 3. So if a lot, for example, in the game itself would cost 500 simoleons, now with this lot prices package file, it will cost 1500 simoleons. simoleons. Moving on to starting funds. So again, for the starting funds, we can only choose one. Now, as you can see, the name of this one is a little bit different. It says M1 starting funds. So in this case, it means you will need to also have module 1 installed in order for the starting funds to actually properly work. So what actually are the starting funds? Now, the starting funds are the funds your household starts with. If I choose 0, it would mean that my household will start with 0 simoleons. Now this one would work perfect with the lot prices 0, because the lots are then 0 simoleons and the starting funds of your sim are 0 simoleons. So you literally start with a 0 simoleons. Then we have 10, which is 10,000, 25 is 25,000, 50 is 50,000, 75 is 75,000, and 100 is 100,000 simoleons that your household will start with. Now the thing about the starting funds is that of course you can only choose one, but the one that you choose is also the amount of money that you will have to pay back to Sims Bank, which is the bank from the Road to Wealth mod. Once you start with your sim, the next day you will get the loan inside of your mail, which is called a starter loan. Then you take out this loan and then you will assign this loan to a sim. Now, what I've also added in version 2 is that you can delete this loan, which then means you don't have to activate the loan. Now we will look at this later inside of the gameplay. So now we have looked at the open me optional files, we're gonna go and have a look at the override. Now these are all overrides, which mean they might not be compatible with other mods. Now, if you have used the previous Road to Wealth mod versions, then you might think, why is this list shorter? It's because I run out of time, and honestly, I just need to do a few more tests before I am happy with the results. So these are just the overrides I currently have, but don't worry, more are coming, especially everything that was already in the previous version. The first one is diaper and bottle, which will add a price to diapers and bottles for babies, infant and toddlers. Now here's the thing, I could not for the life of me make diapers payments work for babies, so baby nappies are free, but you still have to pay for infants and toddlers, and the bottle pricing does work for babies and infants. Then we get Science Baby, which at the moment only makes science babies more expensive. So I think for a single parent it's 18,000 simoleons, and then for a couple it is 24,000 simoleons. Now the price is extremely high because I feel like science babies are just not cheap babies. Now I am thinking about adding another option, which is that you can pick and choose an occult, because I feel like if a baby is born made out of science, I could also choose this baby to become a fairy or a vampire when they're born. So that's something I'm still looking into, and I cannot promise when that update will be happening, but it's something that I've been thinking about. Then we get University, which also has EP08, which means it requires the expansion pack 08, which is Discover University. Now this just makes everything for university more expensive, so even enrolling to university is more expensive, then all the classes are more expensive. Now these are fully up to date with also the new skills that came with previous expansion packs. Then we get bills. Now for bills, it actually only moves the bills and pay bills and check on bill info to the new finances category that I've added to the computer and inside of the phone. So that's why this requires module 1. Then for the remove gifts also requires module 1. Now the remove gifts will only remove purchase romantic gifts and purchase gifts of the phone, because I always find them so annoying, especially with the shopping system that I created, which also has the same kind of gifts. So this just removes the purchase romantic gifts and purchase gifts from the phone. Then for the last override, it is travel. Now this one requires module 5, and that is because travel includes a membership, which is the bus membership. Now with this override, you will have to pay money to travel. So it's like 15 simoleons going to a location and then 15 simoleons going back home. So it's like 30 simoleons for traveling with the bus. And then it also adds a price to going on vacation. But yeah, these are the override files at this very moment for version 2. Now the thing about this folder system is that you can just leave it as it is. So you can leave these 2 folders and the mod will work fine. You could also leave these 2 folders if you wanted, or you can just copy it and then move it elsewhere. But I always like to stick with this folder system. Now it is very important that the core file script is only 1 folder deep inside of your mods folder. So very, very, very important. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Anyways, that was it on the folder structure. So let's now actually dive into game and have a look how the Road to 12 mod actually works. So here we are in game. We are in CAS with Lana Winter, our mod testing sim. She is a vampire. The reason for this is because I like to hibernate, which while I'm wait for like a day or I'm testing things, so my sim will just go to bed and hibernate for like 7 days until the loan system pops up or things like that. It's just easier for testing. I love hibernate function. So now let's actually have a look at the Road to Wealth mod. So I'm going to click play and then I'm going to click save and play, and let's dive into the world and pick where we're going to move. So the first thing that you might notice is that Lana Winter has funds of 25,000 simoleons. So I have installed the starting funds 25, which gives my household 25,000 simoleons. So now I'm just going to move my sim into whatever lot. Now also let me just actually first hover over these. I do have the lot prices ×3 installed. So just hovering over these, you might notice that the prices are indeed a lot more expensive. So it's not just for the empty lots, but it's also for the houses. So my sim has now moved into one of the lots in the game. So now because we did choose the starting funds 25, we will receive our starter loan inside of the mail, but that will be next day at 10 a.m. So we still have a whole day to just relax and don't worry about any loans. Now let's have a look at the farm because there are some changes in here. The first thing you might notice is that all the images, all the icons are different. Now this is because of my phone UI mod, and that's why they all look like this. Now there are 2 new phone tabs that come with the Road to Wealth mod, which is the finances and the activities. Now inside of the activities we will find activities, the adult activities, and then the family activities. So these normal activities are from the age young adults, adults and elder, and then family is just for anyone, including not babies, but like infants and toddlers, children and teens. They can all join to do these activities. Now you can also see this little tooltip which says if other sims want to join an activity, make sure to invite them first to the current lot. So anyone that you want to include in an activity must be on the lot. I don't know, I couldn't figure out how to fix this issue, so this is just how the system works at this moment. So looking at the adult activities, there are currently only 3 activities that we can do, which is the cooking workshop. Now if we hover over this, we can also see the price. So participation fee per sim, which means that's the price per sim. So if you have 2 sims inside of your household and you want to bring them both, that means you pay this amount twice. So the 225 simoleons, you will pay 225 simoleons for each sim. So we got the cooking workshop, and we got the nectar tasting, and then we got a spa retreat. Now, what I really wanted to focus on with these activities is that when my sim comes back from doing these activities, that they might get items inside of their inventory. So anyways, let's just go and do an activity, and then you guys can see how this actually works. So for this, I'm going to do the cooking workshop. We can also see the duration, which is 3 hours. So I could kind of like think, okay, it's 2 p.m. right now, so my sim be home about 5 p.m. So before we even do the activity, we get the option to choose if we want to do a regular cooking workshop or the gourmet cooking workshop. Now, the difference between the two is that the regular cooking workshop, you will not gain skill in the gourmet skill, and the gourmet cooking workshop, you will gain gourmet cooking skill. So when your sim comes home from the activity, you will also receive a meal. Now the regular cooking workshop, you will not receive any gourmet meals, but with the gourmet cooking workshop, you will only receive gourmet meals. So I hope that kind of makes sense. So I'm gonna go, let's go for the gourmet cooking workshop. So I'm clicking on that, and then my sim will go into a rabbit hole, and the price will be taken out of my household funds. So the time is just after 5 p.m. So that was indeed 3 hours. Then we get acquired skills. So during these activities, we will gain skill. In this case, we have the baking, the gourmet, and then the regular cooking skill. We also get an activity reward, which I talked about earlier. So Lana has returned from her activity and received 1 rack of lamb and 1 meatless Monte Cristo sandwich. Now, what kind of reward you receive also depends on your sim's traits. So if your sim is vegetarian, they will only receive vegetarian meals. If they're lactose intolerant, they will not receive any meals that include lactose. And if your sim is a plant lover, they will only receive meat meals, so nothing with plants in it. And then these items will be added inside of our inventory, so we just have to make sure to actually put those in the fridge, and then because otherwise they will spoil. So not only that will happen after doing an activity, you will also receive a buff. Now I have to say these buffs depend on your sim's traits as well, but it's not always positive. The buffs can also be negative. For example, in the cooking workshop, we can get a buff that my sim cut her own finger, so then my sim will come home uncomfortable. Now, before we run out of time, because these activities are only based on daytime, I do want to do a family activity and have a look at family activities. So for family activities, we've got a bike ride, we got a botanical garden, we got a petting zoo, snow world, and then the zoo. Now, snow world is the only one where the minimum age for this activity is a child. Infants and toddlers cannot join for Snow World, but anywhere else they can. As you can see, for the petting zoo, the price for toddlers and infants is 0 simoleons. Now let's actually look at the bike ride, because the pricing might be a little bit confusing. So the thing about the pricing for the bike rides and for Snow World, it's the same system, is that the participation fee per sim. So a bike rental is only paid if you do not own a bike inside of your inventory. So if your sim owns a bike, make sure to place that bike inside of her inventory before they go on the bike ride, because then they don't have to pay for the bike rental. Like it says, bring your own bike and only pay the entry fee. Now the thing is, if you would bring a toddler or an infant, is that you will also need to pay for the bike seat. So if you would bring your very own bike, you would pay 60 simoleons if you also bring a toddler or an infant. Now, if you are not bringing a toddler or an infant and you don't own your own bike, then you will pay the 90 simoleons plus the 40, which then makes 130 simoleons. So I hope that kind of makes sense. I really tried to word it in a way that it would make sense. But I think for now we're gonna go on the petting zoo because that's a fun one to do. And then of course, when I'm trying to show you how the petting zoo family activity works, I am not getting a reward and I'm not getting the little pop-up, which honestly I've forgotten the name of those. Chance cards. That's those. So of course, when I'm trying to show you this, I'm not receiving a chance card and I'm not receiving any rewards, which are possible not to be received. So but we did get the buff, so I think for now let my sim just go to bed. Let me buy a coffin. Are those? Yeah, I think that's what they're called. And then my sim can hibernate for a day, and then we can try to go again on this family activity. So weird if I put it there in the middle of the room, and no, it's not. One other thing I would like to show you is that the text will gray out if family activities are not currently available. It's the same for normal activities. I think normal activities go to 10 p.m. and then the family activities go to 6 p.m. So between 8 and 6 you can go on family activities. Now with the activities, I am thinking about also adding nighttime activities, but I have just so many things in my mind that I don't know when things are happening, okay? We're currently just looking at version 2, but lots is coming. So it's almost 8 a.m. and I quickly want to show you that both activities are grayed out. Once it hits 8, both of them will be available again. So let's go on another family activity. Well, let's go to the petting zoo again. And see if we get anything. Yes, here we go. So chance cards are possible, but yeah, we can buy a raffle ticket for the petting zoo. So one of the zoo staff is running a raffle to support animal care and enrichment. For a small fee, Lana can enter to win a mystery prize. Does Lana want to buy a ticket? So let's buy a ticket. It's gonna cost us 10 simoleons. Wait. Things are going too quickly. Oh, first things first, we acquire the horse riding skill. So if you have the horse ranch pack installed, then with the petting zoo you'll acquire that skill. We did buy the ticket for the raffle, so these are the raffle results. It says, congratulations, Lana won a new furry friend. The animal is located in her inventory. Okay, we will have a look at that later. Then we get this. Lana discovered information about a bottle of milk. What is that about? Well, it's because we also received our activity reward, which in this case is 2 bottles of milk. So the activity rewards for the petting zoo are like milk and eggs and cheese and all of that goodness. So let's look in our inventory. So we indeed got the 2 bottles of milk. So I'm just going to place those inside of our fridge. And then we got a chicken, a rooster actually. So yeah, during the raffle you can actually receive animals. Now it's not just chickens that you can get, you could also get the little goats or sheep. Now this raffle ticket thing of course requires you to have the expansion packs that come with your little animals. So if you don't have any of those expansion packs, you will not be able to receive a chicken or a sheep or a goat. And then we get a cute little buff after going to the petting zoo. So now I'm actually just waiting on the postman. Let me go inside before we like burn to death, because we are a vampire. Oh, here is our postman lady at 12:30, which is like way too late. But anyways, let's go and collect our mail. So let's click on get mail. Then we're just quickly going back inside because I don't want to burn to death. And then let's look at our inventory. So with the starting funds, you will receive your starter loan inside of the mail the next day. So here we have our starter loan. And it just says, thank you for choosing Sims Bank. You could choose to assign the loan to any household member after selecting sign starter loan. So I've done this in a way that if you have a big household, that even the children can get the bill. And then once you click on it and click on the sign starter loan, only the adults will be available to receive the loan under their name. I think teens as well. because you can play with teens without parents. So teens, young adults, adults and elders are the only one that can actually have the loan. So it's kind of like a sim picker that will go there. Now, I also want to mention that you can click on delete starter loan. Now this will fully delete the loan and you will not have to pay anything back. But let's sign the starter loan. So we get a little text which says, "Dear Mrs. Winter, we're pleased to inform you that Sims Bank has approved your application for a starter loan. To proceed, please select the household member who will be responsible for the loan. You have 3 days to activate the loan. If not activated within this time, a 25% late fee will be applied. Thank you for choosing Sims Bank." So the thing with these starter loans is that they will not have any interest. So you will only be paying the amount that you actually chose from the files. Now, like it said over here, you will need to pay 25% more if you don't actually assign the loan to a sim. I'm just going to click on select sim, and then because we're only one sim, we can click on our sim, and then it will just say, "Do you, Lana Winter, accept full responsibility for the starter loan? Sims Bank expects weekly payments. Non-payments will result in consequences." Now, the whole loan system of this game is actually the same as the loan system that came with Discover University, but has been turned into a base game loan system. Now, I know this question is going to be asked, but what if you don't install the module 2 finances and do add the starter loan? You will still have to pay this back. So the whole loan system is actually added inside of the core file, but the applying for a loan, doing investments and all of that is added inside of the finance module. So this just means that the loans from the university and then the loan from the starter loan is still be able to be paid back with the loan system from this mod. So I just wanted to point that out. Now, if we wanted to, we could actually select another household member. So if you accidentally clicked on the wrong one, you can just say select other household member. Now, in this case, it doesn't work because we only have one sim. But if you have multiple sims, then the sim picker will pop up again, and then you can choose a different sim. So I'm just going to click on confirm. Now, the loan itself has been removed from our inventory, and we get this little notification which says loan application. Sims Bank has accepted the starter loan application. The loan is now registered under Lana Winter. Loan balance 25,000 simoleons. And then there's a little explanation of how to actually pay the loan. So loan payments can be made on the phone or computer in the finances category. So now if we go into here and then we have finances, we can make a payment. Now I'm currently thinking that I actually just have to move this up so it's at the top, because being at the bottom is actually quite annoying, isn't it? Yes, I feel like it's annoying. Okay, gotta move that. But yeah, let's actually have a look at the finances category, finances tab, finances category on the phone. So we have now the show bills info. So this is that bills override. We'll just move it inside of the finances tab. Then we can apply for a loan and we can invest money. Now those two are normally only shown, but because we are currently in debt, we also can check our loan balance and make a payment. So the apply for loan and the invest money come with the module 2 finances. But because we're already in debt, some other thing that I wanted to show is that we now also have the in-debt trait, which is the in-debt trait. Yeah, this comes with your sim when they are in debt. Now you might also notice this lower class. We will go into that later, but I first want to actually go over the loans. So let's look at loans. Now, because we are already in debt, we can check our loan balance. So we can click that and then it will pop up over here, which says Lana Winter has a remaining loan balance of 25,000 simoleons. we could make a payment. So if we click on that, we will get this little pop-up over here where we can make a payment. Now it's 3% of your loan balance where you have to pay back. So the minimum changes every time with the amount you already paid back. So now it says 750. So if I would say, let's pay back 1,000 simoleons. We will also receive a new notification over here, which will tell you how much your sim is currently in debt. So the remaining balance of 24,000 simoleons. And if I now go and say make a payment, it will show less than these 750 simoleons, which was over here before. So now it's a minimum of 720 simoleons. And that is because this is 3% of the 24,000 simoleons. So before, when do you actually have to pay back your loan? Now, every between 5 and 7 days, you will receive a call where you will be reminded to pay back 3% of your loan, and otherwise there will be consequences. Now, the consequences are exactly the same as from the Discover University consequences, which is the debtor. So some will come over and they will steal, I don't know, an item, and it will be taken off your loan balance. So make sure to pay your bills on time. So let's look at apply for loan. Now, there are different amounts of money we can apply for. We have 5,000, 10,000, 20, 30, 50, 100, 250, and 500,000 simoleons that we can apply for. Now, the thing is, depending on your net worth, is how much you can actually apply for. So, as we can see over here, it will say poor, lower class, middle class, upper class, wealthy, and millionaire. Now, over here, the 30,000, we have interest rates which says poor inapplicable, which just means poor sims can actually not apply for the 30,000 simoleon loan. So what are the percentages behind the net worth is the percentage of interest. So poor people have a higher interest rate compared to millionaires who only pay 5% interest, and poor people pay 35% interest. Now, also, the loan you apply for isn't always accepted. So the more money you are requesting, the lower the chances that you will actually receive that amount. Now, let's apply for a 20,000 simoleon loan. So I'm going to click on that, and then it will instantly give me the money, and it will say loan application, Sims Bank has accepted Lana Winter's loan application, 20,000 have been transferred into her household funds. It will give me a new loan balance. So now we are 50,000 simoleons in debt. Now, this might seem a little bit strange, but the 20,000 plus then the 30% interest plus the loan we already had, which was the starter loan, where we had like 24,000 left to pay. So every single loan will be placed on top of each other and then on your sim. So if I had multiple sims inside of this household, the other sim would not have the loan. So the loans are really applied to one sim and not to the household. Now, while we are looking at module 2 finances, let's actually have a look at the invest money, where we can invest money. As you can see, also apply loan for loan has been grayed out now, so you can't like reapply constantly. It takes a couple of days before you can apply for another loan. So let me click on invest money. Now this looks exactly the same as the loan payments. So we can see we have currently 0 simoleons invested, and we can pay whatever. So how much money do we have? 24. So let's say I'm going to invest 5,000 simoleons. Just clicking OK. 5,000 simoleons will be taken from my household funds, and then we get an investment update, which then says Lana has invested the funds. She now has a total balance of 4,997 simoleons invested. Now, why are there 3 simoleons less? It's because every time we invest money, we have to pay 3 simoleons. So there is a 3 simoleon transaction fee. So every time we put money in, it will take 3 simoleons out. So since we have invested money now, we have some other options added inside of our finances category. So we can now check investment balance, which works the same as check the loan balance. So if I click on that, we will get another pop-up with you have this amount invested. Then what else we have? Here's a check investment balance, check loan balance. And then we can withdraw money from investments. So if I click on that, we can actually get some money out so now we can see currently invested is 4,997 simoleons, and then set an amount, a minimum of 1 simoleon. So let's say I'm going to take out the 997. So I'm gonna click OK. We will receive 997 simoleons, and then our remaining balance of our investment is now 4,000 simoleons. So if you have used the previous Road to Wealth mod versions, this system has been changed and now works better because we can now take out any amount of simoleons that we want. The other thing about investments is that every week you will receive an update about your investment, so you can actually receive money weekly or money can be taken out weekly. Now, another thing I've changed about the investments is that you can also be in the negative. So if something crazy happens, where your money has just been like going downhill weekly, your investment could become negative. Anyways, I think I'm just going to go and hibernate for a little bit, and then we can have a look at what would happen if the people from SimsBank call to pay back our loan, and what will happen for the investment. So 5 days have passed since we received our starter loan and applied for the loan. So now we got a phone call and now it says loan payment due. So dear Mrs. Winter, you have failed to make an on-time payment towards your loan. Please pay 3% of the remaining balance of 50,000 simoleons as quickly as possible. We at SimsBank have extended the payment window and stresses that further non-payments will result in consequences. Thank you for choosing SimsBank. Now, if we would click on ignore, we will have 2 more days and then get another phone call, and then we have about 2 days before the debtor comes if we would ignore the second phone call. But in this case, I'm going to click on make a payment and pay 3% of the 50,000 simoleons, which is 1,500 simoleons. So I'm going to, let's just pay 20,000. 20,000, okay, 200. It's 20,000, right? Yeah. And then say okay. So now we have another 5 days to pay back the 30,000 which is remaining. So we have a remaining balance of 30,000 simoleons. Now also, because Monday has passed, we need to pay our bills. So I'm going to click on pay bills over here, which is again with the bills override placed inside of the finances category. So I paid the bills. I'm going back into hibernation for another 2 days until we get our investment update. Oh my god. Okay, so it's been a week since we put money inside of our investment. So investment report. Lana has a total of 1,080 simoleons in her investment account. So that definitely went down because we did had 4,000 simoleons in there and now we have 1,080 simoleons. So yes, these change depending on the week. Now these are just, I've just placed in like random numbers, so it could either go up or it could go down. And like in this case, it went down. So we're at 1,080 simoleons. Which is less than what we had. So that is how the finances module work with loans and investments. So now actually let's talk about the main thing of this mod, which is of course the net worth system. So depending on our net worth, our sim will receive a trait. Now we are poor because our sim has between 0 and 15,000 simoleons in her cash. So cash is the money inside of here, the household funds, and then the property value, which is the value over here. So of course 13,000 plus then the 200 and something that we had will turn into like just under 14,000. So of course we are currently poor. Now if I would cheat and add 3,000, this will automatically update, as you can see, and now we are a lower class household. So depending on how much money you got, it will just automatically change. So not only do we get those rewards traits, but we can also like and dislike certain net worths. So to do that, we can go into likes and dislikes, and then we go to net worth. First things first, I do want to mention that if you don't see the preferences, it's because when they added the turns on and turns off, the likes and dislikes became an override. Now you will need to download Zerbu's custom preferences mod, which is linked in the description down below, so you can actually get the net worth likes and dislikes inside of your game. So the different net worths that you can have are all of these. So we got lower class, middle class, millionaire, poor, upper class, wealthy. I know it pisses me off too that these are not in correct order, but they're in alphabetic order. So annoying. So yeah, we got poor, then we go to lower class, and then you could go to middle class, and then you go to upper class, and then you go to wealthy, and then you go to millionaire. So poor is between 0 and 15,000, lower class between 15 and 50, then middle class is between 50 and 150, upper class 150 to 500, wealthy 500 to a million, and then millionaire is everything above a million. So yeah, we can say I don't like to be poor. I do like to be lower class. I don't really care for middle class, and then we could just, I don't know, go like that. Do whatever you think fits perfect with your sim. So now that we are back in the game, we will have the net worths, likes and dislikes over here. Now, depending on what your sim likes and dislikes, we can get different buffs every, not couple of hours, but like a day and a few hours. We will get either a negative or a positive buff. So that all just depends on the likes. In this case we like lower class, and then we are inside of the lower class, so we will receive positive buffs that we are in the lower class net worth. But in this case we can also receive negative buffs because we are close to being poor and we dislike poor. So we could get like an angry buff that just says, oh, I'm so close to losing my net worth that I'm just getting angry because I don't want to be poor. Things like that. Let me just get these vampire needs up. So I kind of hope that makes sense. I don't know if we during this gameplay are going to see any of the buffs, but I have screenshots posted on inside of the blog post so you can check those out. So not only with the likes and dislikes do we get these buffs when we are in a certain net worth, but let's go over here and talk to Marcus Flags. Let's do a friendly introduction. Let's go and say hi. Hello. And then I'm just going to cheat their relationship a little bit higher. And this is just so we can go and ask about Marcus's net worth. So yeah, we can ask another sim about their net worth, but they will not always give you an answer. It just depends on their friendship level. So that's why I cheated their friendship. So you can find those in friendly and then in small talk, and then we can go ask about net worth.
Oh, Tinkwell.
And then we get the little net worth notification over here, which then says Lana has shared her net worth and learned Marcus's financial status, so lower class. So now let's actually, where is it here? Have a look at it and say open profile. So now we can go into sentiments. So these are added as sentiments, so you can look back at what the other Sims' net worth is. I got really frustrated while playing that I could ask my Sim what their net worth is, but I couldn't actually recheck it to see if my Sim liked it or not. So that's why I've placed them inside of sentiments. Now, because Lana likes lower class net worth, it has turned into a positive outcome. So Lana has discovered Marcus's net worth and feels positive about it. It would be red if she disliked it. Now I also have to say, if the Sim doesn't have any preferences, it will always just be set to positive. At least I have tried to always set it as positive. It might be like 1% chance it could be set to negative, but 99% chance that it will be set as positive. So yes, so that's only if our Sim does not have any preferences, and otherwise it will just stick with if your Sim likes it or doesn't like it. Now in this case it will also stick with what Marcus likes, because we're sharing our net worth. So Marcus in this case also figures out what our net worth is, so it's kind of like a conversation like in, hey Marcus, I am a lower class net worth, what is your net worth? You know, you're just sharing the information. And the reason I've done this is that because some players like to play rotational, and then if you're playing a different household but your other Sim has already asked about the net worth, we can still see what the net worth status is of each other. That's why we're sharing our net worth. It also feels nicer to share it in, to be like, what is your net worth? And I'm not going to tell you mine, you know? So I feel like the sharing is just nicer. Anyways, we now know about Marcus's net worth. So let's actually talk a little bit more with him and go and do some more conversating. And so I've been trying to conversate with Marcus over and over again, but it's just not popping up. But there is a buff when your Sim is nearby a Sim with a net worth that they like, and also with a net worth that they dislike. You will receive either a positive or a negative buff when you are nearby that Sim. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, what we can also do with socializing, because while we are socializing, I just wanted to do this quickly before Marcus decides to leave because it's 9:30, is that we can also ask if a Sim... We find small talk again. We can ask if Marcus is in debt, and we can ask for help to pay off our debt. So let me first ask if Marcus is in debt. So you will either get the no, I'm debt free, or it will say yes, I'm in debt. So that is a question we can ask. So this is like definitely fun for when you're Sim, for rotational gameplay, so you can see if another Sim is in debt or not. Now we can also ask for help to pay off debt. So let's see if he agrees to that one. Oh, yeah. Oh, of course, Lana. Give me your loan payment details and I'll transfer the funds right away. So what this does is it doesn't add funds inside of your household funds, but it actually takes money away from your loan. So, oh, shoot. He paid 5,000 simoleons towards our loan? Okay, so Sims Bank has accepted Lana's loan payment. Lana has a remaining balance of 25,000 simoleons. And then the 5 days will reset after you receive this little pop-up. So Marcus has now left, but that is basically all the social interactions that you can do, and especially the help for loan payments is great. Now, friends will pay less towards your loan compared to family, so family will pay more towards your loan. And it's just like a random number that will be selected, and then the outcome also depends how good friends you are. Because if you're not great friends, then the chance of him saying no, I'm not paying your loan is very high. So you definitely need to be good friends. So I think that's it for preferences. I'm just gonna make my sim hibernate for a little bit until it's a daytime, because looking at the dark is actually annoying. So now we've gone over the core file, the finances module, and the activities module. Let's look at the shopping module. Now for shopping, we have this new two new interactions inside of the shopping tab on the phone and also on the computer. Is we have the SimMart purchase and SimMart sell. Now I also installed the remove gift override, so that's why the gift options aren't visible over here. So let's start with purchase. I'm going to purchase something from SimMart. So once you click on purchase, we have these different shops where we can go shopping. So we got Blossom and Bloom, Galaxy Goods, Members Club, Nibbles and Nest, Polished Stones, Tinker's Nook, Simletics, Spellbound, The Bookmark, The Collector's Shelf, and then Wonderful Secrets. So if you don't have the Module 5 memberships installed, then the Members Club will not be visible here. And also I want to mention that if you do have the Module 5 memberships, but you don't have the Module, 3 shopping, then the purchase a membership is just a interaction on the phone and it's not added inside of the SimMart. If we look at these, we can see exactly what every single shop is selling. So at Blossom and Bloom, we sell flowers, fruits, seeds, vegetables, and wedding bouquets. At Galaxy Goods, we sell aliens, lightsabers, and space rocks. So, and then at the members club, we sell memberships, and so forth. So there are quite a few things that we can purchase. Now, Wonderful Secrets, it says we don't offer refunds, so anything purchased there cannot be sold back to Wonderful Secrets. So Wonderful Secrets is not available inside of the SimMart sell items, so only for purchase. Now let's purchase something. So I'm just gonna go into Blossom and Bloom, where we can purchase quite a few items. So once you click on that, you'll get this purchase picker. Everything will come with a delivery fee because everything is delivered to your mailbox in the next day. Now the delivery fee price depends on the shop. They're all just different. And then here at the top we have little categories. So show all just shows everything that is available this day. Now I have to say that these things change every single day, so the inventory changes. Now for flowers, we can purchase 4 different flowers, which are these. Then we have fruits. We have all these different fruits that we could purchase. Seeds, which we can purchase seeds. Then for vegetables are of course vegetables. Then we got the wedding bouquets. Now the wedding bouquets come from My Wedding Stories, and if you don't have My Wedding Stories installed, then this option over here will just not be visible. Okay, and then we have planter boxes, which are like planter pots and planter boxes, including this really cool one, which waters the plants automatically. So I'm gonna order that, because why not? Then let's order some seeds. So I don't know, let's do some uncommon plants. So for the flowers, let's purchase the tulips. Now also I have to mention is that all the prices are more expensive than their normal prices. So I think it's like 20% more. Now our total cost will be 695 simoleons. So that's like 4 items then plus the delivery fee. Okay, so I'm gonna say purchase. And then it will say, thank you for shopping with us. Your items have been shipped and will be delivered by mail. So they all will be delivered by mail the next day at 10 a.m. So if I wanted, I could order some more items. I'm also gonna order a membership because then we could go over the memberships later on and then it will already be delivered by mail. So these are the different memberships that we can purchase. I'm gonna go and select, I'll just select all of them. Do I have enough simoleons for all of them? Hopefully, okay. So now we just gotta wait for the next day to get all our items delivered by mail. So I actually want to go and have a look now at the selling items, but to do that I do need to have some items in my inventory, because otherwise there's nothing I can sell. So let's have a look. Are there some more items around here? Got some more flowers. Okay, so I think that's kind of it. So, okay, let's just sell the bluebells. Now we're going into shopping and then say SimMart sell. And then we get most of the same shops that were available for purchasing items from. But as you can see, some of these are grayed out. For example, the Galaxy Goods, and it says you don't own sellable items. These shops, whatever they sell is also whatever they purchase from you. So when you want to sell items, you have to make sure that you got those items inside of your inventory. Otherwise it says you don't own sellable items. So in this case, we have a book and we have some flowers. So Blossom and Bloom is available. And then the bookmark is also available. Everything else is not available. Now there are two different shops in here compared to the purchasing items from SimMart, and that is the Timeless Treasure, which will be like fossils or the things from Jungle Adventure. So that's what they purchase. Now the idea is that they purchase those items from you to put them in the museum so they don't sell those items. Now anything that is handcrafted can be sold to handcrafted. So any item that you create yourself can be sold to handcrafted. And then the last one we have is SimCity Charity. They just purchase anything that you have in your inventory, really anything. So if there are items, so I use this option for items that are new from other packs that have not been added yet inside of the mod, or things that just don't have the proper tags, which the game does very, very often, and which pisses me off because I can't properly place them inside of SimMart. Anyways, so those items can be sold into SimCity Charity. Now, one thing though, SimCity Charity only pays half the price of the item, and all the other shops only pay 80% of the price of the item. And with that, I mean, if we look at this flower, well, we can see it hovering over it. It says it's 2 simoleons. That's the how much this flower is worth. 2 simoleons is not a good example, but 80% of 2 simoleons is probably still gonna say 2 simoleons. So not purchased, sell. Sorry. Yeah, so if we would go into Blossom and Bloom, it will sell for 2 simoleons, which is the original price, but that's not the case, okay? It would sell for 80%. But because this flower is not worth anything, it literally still says 2. Now, if we would actually get out of that and sell items again and then go into SimCity Charity, you will see that they will sell for 1 simoleon, so half price, okay? And as you can see now, the book is in there as well because the sell items will just purchase anything. And the idea is that SimCity Charity will then donate these items to the Sims in need. So that is basically the shopping done. Now we just have to wait for the mail to be delivered. Is it gonna be delivered today? Because I see it's 10 a.m. So actually the mail might come today. I kind of think like if you order before 10, that the deliveries will be done today, but maybe not, because the postman lady is walking this way. So maybe it is really the next day. So let's hibernate. let's go to the next day. It is the next day. Our mail was delivered early, so I'm going to say get mail, and then our items should all be placed inside of here. Oh gosh, it's a sunny day today. So all our items are now inside of our inventory except for the planter box, which I'm just reminded of that it'll probably be placed inside of here. Yes. Have to recheck that, so I should definitely create a note on that, because inside of the game not everything is available for the mailbox, and if the item is not available to be placed inside of a mailbox, then it will be automatically placed inside of your Sims household inventory. So if you are taking out the mail and you can't find an item, it will be inside of your household inventory. And please let me know if something is, because there are so many items that, like this one, I have forgotten to check if that one is actually available inside of mailboxes, or that I have to manually add that one to the mailbox. So besides that one, we have everything else. So like you see, everything is delivered, including our massive canoe. Okay, so let's look at the last module, which is memberships. Now I have placed, just favorited all of these, so you can just do that by selecting them and then click on favorite, because if you select each card individual, I did not add the add favorite tag thingy. But anyways, here are all the memberships. So we have a library membership, we have a pool membership, a gym membership, a bus membership, and then a premium membership. Now the bus membership is only available if you add the travel override file. Otherwise, there's no bus membership. And there's also a golden membership, which is for elder Sims. So let's activate a membership. Let's do the membership card, which was the library one. So you get another Sim picker, and then you can just pick whatever household member. So this is similar to the one for the starter loan. So anyone in your household will be available. So it doesn't depend on who gets the mail out of the mailbox. So in this case I'm gonna do Lana, and then again we can confirm or we can select a different household member, so if you accidentally clicked on the wrong one. Also, one thing I want to mention is that every Sim can only have one of the same memberships active. So if another Sim of the household already has the library membership active, then I cannot reselect him for another library membership, if that makes sense. Okay, so let me confirm. Then we get this whole text. The library membership has been successfully activated, and Lana Winter is now the proud owner of this membership card. The library membership will expire in 3 days. To renew the membership, locate the card in Lana's inventory and select the number of days she would like to add. Expired membership cards cannot be reactivated. So there's a whole system in this. I was just thinking, why isn't this working? And that's of course because the new card isn't selected as favorite. Okay, let me just... I was freaking out, okay? I have to be honest, I was freaking out. I'm just gonna delete all these items. So, yeah. So, I was freaking out. I was like, why isn't this working? I've been working on this for weeks. It's working, okay? It is working. So, now we have this card which will say library membership, 3 days left, membership benefits, and then it will list all the benefits. So, no entry fee at the library and a 25% discount at the bookmark. And then it will also tell you who's the owner, so owned by Lana Winter. Now, these cannot be placed anywhere or transferred from one Sim to another Sim, so you really have to make sure to select the correct Sim when activating the membership. If a membership isn't yet activated, then it will just say this membership card needs to be activated before it can be used. So yeah, you just need to make sure to activate those. Now, clicking on the library membership, we have a few options. We could now indeed add it to favorites, which I did not apparently add to any of those, but we can with the activated one. Anyways, doesn't matter. So we can cancel a membership or we can renew the membership, and then with renewal we have to pay money for more days. So let's say so every time you activate a new membership card, you will get 3 days. So 3 days are always added. Then we can renew, and now we could renew, for example, for 7 days. So we will just say gym membership. Oh, gym membership. That's the wrong text. Okay, gotta fix that. Anyways, 7 days have been added added to Lana's library membership, and now it will say 10 days are left for this membership. Now let me just hibernate, and at 12 p.m. on a Sunday, the 10 should be changed to 9. It is 1 p.m. on a Sunday, and now if I hover over the library membership, it will now say 9 days. So each day, a day will be removed. So you can just continue renewing this. Let's say renew for 28 days, and then it will now say 37 days are left. So now, what do you exactly do with the library membership? So let's go and travel to a library, where we will have to pay for the entrance. Oh, we got a little buff about the state of wealth. So this is a positive buff because we like the lower class net worth. So those are things that I was talking about earlier. Now, at this moment, there is nothing added to this library, so I do have to go in and say lot challenges and add the entrance fee. Now, it doesn't matter if you do this beforehand, so before your sim goes to the lot or while you're on the lot, you can also just change it. So right now, if I would click inside, my sim would not be able to go inside of the library because the door is locked. Now we need to click and say enter with membership, which is 0 simoleons, because we have the where is it? Over here. Because we have the library membership active. Now if I would cancel this, so I'm just going to cancel it, and then you get this whole warning where you can cancel membership or keep membership. Yeah, so let's say cancel, which now has fully deleted our library membership where we spend so much money on. So we have a cancelled membership. This one will now say library membership. This membership card is expired and cannot be reactivated, so we could throw this away. Anyways, now if we click on the door, it will say pay entrance fee of 20 simoleons. So if we would do that, our sim will go to the door, knock on it, and then Lana paid the entrance fee, and now we can go inside. Now I have tried to change the system, at least after knocking on the door, and then you know that the walls go down when you visit a Sim's household. That's kind of what I wanted to do, but I could not for the life of me figure it out. So this is just how it works. Now if you enter a lot with the entrance fee, the door is locked, so no one can go in and no one can go out. I'm sorry, this is the only way for me to make it work, so that's how it kind of works now. So you will need to go and pay for the entrance fee. Now right now there's nothing I can do with this door because we have paid the entrance fee. Now if I would activate this gym membership quickly and do all of that and say confirm and all of that, we have 3 days on the gym membership. So let's go to the gym. This is the gym, right? Yes. Let's go to the gym. And then let me... Oh, it already had the lot entrance fee challenge. Haha. Okay, so we're at the gym. No one could go in and out this door. So I'm gonna go and click enter with membership. Knock on the door again. And then Lana used her gym membership to enter, and now the door is unlocked and we can go to the gym. Now it cost us 0 simoleons because we have the gym membership active. So we can also sell expired membership, so we could either throw it away or we can sell it back to the members club. By doing that, we can click on the members club in the SimMart selling. Then anything that is not yet activated, so the bus membership we haven't activated, the pool we haven't activated, the premium membership we haven't activated, and then the library membership was expired, so we could just sell those back to there. So clicking on that, it will remove it from here and we will receive our simoleons. So now we have removed that. We could, like, if we cancel this again, we could also click on it and say throw away, and it will also just get deleted. So I have activated the bus membership. Now the bus membership is a little bit different than the others. So with the bus membership, your sim will have no travel costs. Normally, if you click on travel here and then travel, you will pay 15 simoleons for each time you travel. Take a vacation is now set to 120 simoleons. But if we say purchase a luggage, which is also an option, we get this little notification which says packed and ready. Lana has purchased luggage space for her next vacation. And now going on vacation is completely free because our bus is free and we have already prepaid our luggage. So before it said like 120, I believe. So there's like a $40 difference as in pre-buying the luggage space and actually just going on vacation and having to purchase the luggage space while you get at the bus is kind of the idea. Let's hibernate and then these notifications will pop up so you will be reminded when memberships expire. I found that quite important because sometimes while you're in your gameplay, you just can't really remember when a membership is going to expire. It doesn't matter like how many times you renew, you know, at some point you're going to get to those 2 days left and then to the 1 day left. So that's why I added notification reminders that you need to top up your membership before it expires. So here it says Lana's bus membership will expire in 48 hours, so in 2 days. And then there's also a little reminder of how to renew it and when it expires. Now also I'm seeing this text error over here, so I gotta fix that. So now we will have 2 days left and like I said, you will receive a little notification. And here we are now having 1 day left. It will say Lana's bus membership will expire in 24 hours. So now it says 1 day. And I completely forgot to pay back our loan. So let's just ignore that payment for now. Also, we now have the in-depth buff, which is a buff, a negative buff your sim will get when you click on ignore payment. So that's why my sim is very tense right now. We also have another state of wealth where we feel inspired and our bus membership has expired. So we got a little notification which says expired membership. Lana's bus membership has expired. This membership card is no longer valid. Lana can choose to sell it back to the members club or simply throw it away. So that is what happens when the timer runs out. So I'm just gonna throw it away. So that was it for this video. I hope I went over everything. I might have missed a couple of things, but it's fun to go and figure those out for yourself. So this is the Road to Wealth mod version 2, created by me. If you have any questions or if you're running in any issues, then please let me know on my Discord, or you can just ask questions in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to give a like and subscribe to the channel for more Sims 4 content. And also, if you're interested in creating your very own mod, this is the place to be because I create mod tutorials for The Sims 4, so definitely subscribe to the channel and I'll see you in the next video.